Good day, mates. Boy, it is an exceptionally beautiful morning in Toowoomba. There's not a cloud in the sky. You know, I've been back to Toowoomba now for about 3 or 4 days, and the last 3 or 4 days have been, well, they've been a little bit gray and downright chilly for this time of year, at least. This time of year being springtime, and I am out on my morning walk. And I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to get a haircut. And I'm going to get a haircut with a wonderful barber named Dennis. And I just stumbled across Dennis's barber shop, some time back. And you know, when you, I try to get my hair cut once a month. So I'll get about 12 haircuts a year. And interestingly enough, I was thinking the other day that this will be the third haircut that I've gotten from Dennis. It'll be the third haircut. And Dennis is the guy, wonderful gentleman. Dennis is the guy that introduced me or invited me to go watch them do bowls, I guess it's called. And those of you that have been following me, you'll remember that video that I did on a Thursday afternoon a couple months ago now. But anyway, I am on my way down to get a haircut. I went down there yesterday, and in his small little barber shop, there were probably 5 or 6 people sitting there in the barber shop, and they weren't social distancing. But I don't know that that's as much of a concern here as it is in many places around the world. But anyway, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go get my hair cut from Dennis. I like to call him Dennis the Menace. And this barber shop has been around a long time. I don't know if it's 100 years or not, but I guess Dennis took over the business. Dennis is probably well into his 70s, and Dennis took over the business from his father. So he the barber chair, I guess, was imported from America, and it has St. Louis on it. And I'll share the barber chair with you. It's really something else. But on my way down there to the barber shop, I'm going to do my morning walk, and I go down this particular street. I don't know if it's Margaret Street or Hume Street or what it is, but I go down this particular street, and some of the homes are just gorgeous. Really gorgeous, beautiful homes. And I thought on my walk this morning that I would share some of these homes with you as I walk down to get my hair cut, and I have my my morning coffee. Oh boy, that's good. That's really good. But I am anyway, the other thing on my mind, it's making plans. And it turned out that Hobart, or Tasmania, changed their requirement that you quarantine for 14 days in a government hotel at your own expense to get into Tasmania. And they've just removed that requirement. So I'm gonna go in the better part of another few weeks. I'm gonna find my way, God willing of course, I'm gonna find my way down to Tasmania and just get a hotel in Hobart for a week or two using my points. And I'm just gonna go down to Tasmania and try to spend the better part of a month down there, and just enjoy it, just work You can drive from one side of the island to the other in you can drive from one side of the island to the other in about four hours.
Hey.
Hello. Oh, look who it is.
How you doing?
It's the barber. I was just telling everybody all about you. Are you going down there now?
Yeah.
Can I come and you give me a haircut?
Yeah.
You open early for me?
Yeah, I got to clean up though.
You'll give me a ride?
Yeah, I'll give you a ride.
Are you a safe driver?
Oh,
I was just telling everybody
I'm
about...
still alive.
I was just telling everybody about Dennis the Menace. I'll be damned. How are you?
Good, I just grab a coffee up here, mate.
Okay. So you hear that, folks? He says, I'll just grab a coffee up here, mate. You see, that's how they talk down here. So this is Dennis. This is the barber that I was just talking about. And he couldn't have come along at a better time. How long have you been cutting hair?
55 years.
55, and your dad?
He died fairly young. He died at 54.
Uh-huh.
So he probably cut hair for, 30 years or so.
30 years or so, huh?
Mm.
So this is where you get your coffee in the morning?
Yeah.
You don't go to McCafe?
Ah, this bloke's good. He's a mate of mine.
All right, it's a mate of yours. All right, so there goes Dennis. Oh goodness, you've been in town. You've been in town a long time when the local barber drives by and slows down and honks his horn and opens up the shop early to give you a haircut. So he's gone into the Spar here on Mackenzie Street, and we will I'm just going to continue the video down at his barber shop, and then I'll walk home from the barber shop and show you some of the houses in a different video. Oh goodness gracious, it couldn't have worked out better. He actually honked at me one time, I think, when I was walking and I was in a roundabout. Dennis, I think he yelled at me saying, get the hell out of the street. But maybe now that he recognized me, maybe he wasn't, maybe he was just joking or something. I don't know. But anyway, so we'll be back. I'm gonna go get my hair cut. Oh goodness gracious. All right, so here's Dennis setting up for the day. Oh, what this will be a great experience. This will be a good video. I'm walking down the street talking about this guy named Dennis and getting my hair cut, and who drives by. I couldn't have planned it better. Well, one day speaking of driving by, one day I was driving down the road here, and I was a little bit frustrated because I had just been to the mall where there was a big barber shop, and I'd have to wait an hour, and I see this little building right here, and the side of it there's a sign that says barber, and I thought I'd stop in, and well, the rest is history, as they say. And now I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a nice cut before the crowds start to gather. And now this says haircut and shaves. You see that? Look at that. That's a nice logo, by the way. As far as logos go, that's a really nice logo. There's his number, 0427-018-484. Not that he needs any more business. He was just telling me that yesterday was the busiest day that he's ever had. So this is the barber shop right here. Look at this.
I haven't cleaned up yet.
No, he hasn't cleaned up yet. And there's no pinups on the wall. You see, you don't see any pinups on the wall like you might see in some barber shops, right? But here's his price list: the men's haircut, the pensioner cut. Now I don't know what's considered a pensioner in Australia.
Retired on the government, getting a government pension.
All right. Well, I wouldn't fall under that category. And then you got high school primary, and then you can get yourself a shave. Now look at some of this stuff. I'd imagine some of this stuff is antique in here. And talking about antique, look at this chair. There he goes. He's turning on the lights. Look at this barber chair. Is that something?
Made in St. Louis.
Made in St. Louis, and it's still got some hair on there from yesterday's cut, as you can see. But, look at that. This is, boy, this is a barber chair to end all barber chairs. And I'm going to go ahead and take my jacket off and get situated and have myself a nice cut as Dennis the Menace gets ready for the day's work. All right, so I found my way into the chair, and you know, if there's one thing that Dennis likes to talk about, he likes to talk politics. Not Aussie politics. He likes to talk American politics, and he was just giving his optimistic opinion. What did you just tell me a moment ago?
I think Trump might pull it off, but the COVID, he doesn't want the conversation to be on COVID. And the conversation tends to be going that way because he has you know, contacted it.
Sure. Now you just did an impersonation of Biden, didn't you?
A little run, yeah.
Yeah, do your little impersonation of Biden again. There you go. Oh, this is good. This is gonna be good Tom TV. So anyway, do you remember how I like my haircut?
Short, isn't it?
Did you say short? I don't know. Just make me look good. Okay? Do whatever you want. All right? Maybe you could get out the razor and do a little Trump 2020 in the back. Right?
I don't think so.
You could do a little Trump 2020.
He's not popular in Australia.
Trump's not popular?
No. He's popular with
with the liberals.
With the right-wing liberals.
Yeah. Right? Now your prime minister, is he a liberal?
Yeah, he's a liberal, but
And the premier, you call it a premier in the state, right?
Yeah, it's like your governor.
Yeah, you see, I'm practicing when I apply for permanent residence here in Australia. I want to get permanent residency here. Wouldn't that be something? It's not a bad place, you know that, Australia.
You can't bring your guns.
No, I can't bring my gun. No, I'll have to leave my gun at home. But oh, my hearing aid. Okay.
You can apply for a gun license here, and you can get one.
Yeah, if I want to go do hunting of kangaroo, hunting of kangaroo or something.
You can have guns in Australia, but there's a hell of a lot of restrictions on them.
Sure.
And I imagine there's restrictions in America too.
Yeah. Now in Toowoomba, you don't have too many kangaroos here, do you? You don't have a lot of kangaroos. You might have some koalas here, right?
Some koalas, some kangaroos, more on the outskirts. There's probably around the ranges there's a few wallabies. Wallabies are like a small kangaroos, but different species.
What about wombats? You have wombats here?
No.
No wombats, huh? You've been in Toowoomba all your life?
I was born behind that mirror.
You were? No, you weren't.
I was.
You were born behind it? What do you mean? You weren't born in this building?
Well, that's where my mother lived. I was...
Really?
Yeah.
You were born in this building?
Well, not in the... She would have went to hospital, but that's...
Yeah. All your life from Toowoomba, huh? Did you marry your high school sweetheart?
First girlfriend I ever had from Toowoomba. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
How old were you when you met her?
Oh, I was about, probably 18.
And what's her name?
Desley.
I'll be darned.
D-S-L-E-Y.
And you have children?
I got 4.
4 children.
Yeah.
And you've been cutting hair all your life?
Yeah.
Have you ever cut anybody's hair that's famous? Thinking back, have you ever cut a famous person's hair?
Oh, they all think they are.
No?
Not really, no, not any.
They all think, I think that was a jab at me, you know. I think that he was jabbing at me by saying they all think they're famous, you know. But have you ever cut somebody's hair, Dennis, and they came back and they were all mad that you messed up their hair and they wanted their money back?
Oh.
Has anybody ever asked you for their money back?
No,
no,
not really. No. But
all right.
there's quite a few different characters coming here.
I would imagine.
My father said he's going to write a book and he's going to call it "If They're Not Here, They're Coming."
All right. And today is Thursday, which means it's Bulls Day, right?
Yeah.
Bulls Day.
Half a day.
Yeah, half a day today, and then you're gonna go do the bowling thing. Did they close down? Did they close bowls because of COVID?
They did for a while. And
yeah.
They opened it under restrictions. You know?
I see. Okay, but now there's no more restrictions.
There is still some restrictions of distancing.
Yeah.
And you got to sign in and give your address and phone number, and
yeah.
You can't. There's restrictions on meals, and
sure.
And you can't sit at the bar and drink. You know, you got to sit at tables a certain distance apart.
Do you feel that, you know, when you watch the news around the world and countries dealing with COVID and everything, do you feel that Australia kind of dodged the bullet? Are you kind of happy with how Australia has dealt with the whole COVID situation?
Yeah, I think everyone's very happy with how we've dealt with it. You know, whether they're Liberal Prime Ministers or Labor Labor governors, they've all dealt with it fairly well. Well, premiers we call them, you call them governors.
Right.
They've all dealt with it fairly well, but I think their success will be judged on when they open it fully. You know, there's a bit of debate about the borders should be open now, you know, rather than because there's very little COVID in Australia, you know.
Well, Melbourne's had its problems.
Yeah.
You know, Melbourne has had its problems for sure. So,
but you know, we're only getting all over Australia 20 or 30 cases a day.
I know.
Yeah.
20 or 30 cases a day. It's unheard of. I probably couldn't have picked a better time to visit Australia. You know? And now that I've been here several months, I am an honorary Aussie. I started having Vegemite for breakfast. I did.
Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I have it with a little mashed avo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get some butter. And I toast the bread. Little mashed avo, some tomatoes, a little feta cheese, a little balsamic glaze. Do you like Vegemite?
Oh yeah.
Do you have it for breakfast?
Often. Most Australians will have a jar of Vegemite on their kitchen breakfast table.
They will, huh? Oh goodness. All right. Anyway, folks, I'll be back. Oh, this is good Tom TV. All right, so we've gravitated from talking about politics to talking about rugby. And I'm getting a lesson. There's what's called rugby league and rugby union. And rugby, I think it's rugby union is more common around the world. And that's what's going on right now between Australia and the Kiwis, New Zealand. And that's rugby union.
And then it's massive in New Zealand.
Rugby union is massive in New Zealand. Okay, and then you've got the rugby league. So will you sit around like Americans sit around on a Sunday watching football? Mm-hmm. Do you sit around and watch rugby on the Sundays, or is it Saturday or what?
Oh well, there's different games at different times. Yeah, usually there's a couple of night games during the week, and there'll be. Usually there's games Saturday and Sunday, yeah.
And what's your team?
I go for a team called St George, which you got to be very patient to keep supporting them.
Do you have like a jersey that you wear during game day?
Well, some people do, I don't.
Some get dressed right up to the teeth.
They do, huh?
Most around here support the Broncos.
Now, that's the Brizzy Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you play rugby as a kid?
I played rugby union.
You played.
That's the you know, the lesser game. Yeah.
You played the rugby.
Gentleman's game was yours, wasn't it, Dennis?
Yeah.
Were you any good?
I played local representative stuff. Yeah.
All right. You remember what number you were? Do they wear numbers?
Yeah, I was a number 9.
You were number 9, huh? All right. So they're
In
gonna.
our day, when rugby union has changed,
It
was an amateur game. There was no payment in it years ago.
Right.
And rugby league has always been a professional game where there was payment.
I see.
But over the last 25 years, rugby union has moved to professional as well.
Okay. Well, there you go. Do you ever watch any? Now, do you call it? Do they call rugby footy?
Footy.
It's called footy. They'll call it footy.
Yeah.
And AFL they'll call.
Well, I'll call that footy. If you live in Melbourne or Victoria.
Yeah.
They call it footy down there. That's their football.
Okay.
Very little rugby league and rugby union played down those ways.
Right, I understand.
It's all Aussie rules. We call it Aussie rules.
And there's going to be a big championship for the AFL up in Brisbane.
Yeah, well, that's normally in Melbourne every year.
Exactly.
This will be the first and only time that it'll be away from Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm a Maggie's fan. You know.
What's that? Collingwood?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, they're hated.
What do you mean they're hated? Carlo Panettiere from Melbourne, when I came to Australia, he gave me a bunch of Collingwood stuff. He said, okay, mate, this is the way it works down here in Australia. He said, you got to be a Maggie's fan.
Oh, well, they've certainly got a strong base.
They do, huh?
In Melbourne, yeah.
So now comes the little, see, this is what I like about the barber, you know, where they do the whole, they do the whole shave. You see, you don't get this at those little frill, you know, those little frill places. This is only one of 2 places in Toowoomba now that are like this. You know, this is the old-fashioned type of a barber shop. If you're coming through Toowoomba, this is where you want to go.
You're going to come quick because I'm not going to live much longer.
What do you mean you're not going to live much longer? You're not going to live much longer, huh?
Oh, well, I'm getting to the end of it.
Okay. All right, so
although I saw in the news once there was a barber in America who was supposed to be 100 or something.
Oh goodness, 100 years old, huh?
Yeah, somewhere over there. You can get it. You can dig it up. They had a. They had a clip on the.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, all right, folks. So we'll be back. I hope you enjoyed this visit to the. This guy's got to be the best barber in Toowoomba. You know, he's got to be the best barber in Toowoomba. Anyway, take good care. All right, so Dennis.
That's a good advertisement. Don't put this on the bloody TV.
Don't put this on it. Oh, I think maybe I got nicked, and I think maybe I got nicked, and Dennis
just
came
off
over.
A pimple of this.
All right, so there we go. I think I got nicked, and I was just wrapping up my video, and Dennis must have noticed something from across the shop, and he came over to kind of take care of it. But you know, look at this job. He did pretty good. You see? I think he did a best barber, you know, best haircut in Toowoomba. Look at that. Absolutely the best. And here is the. Look at this old picture of the shop here. If you can see, you can see that. Look at that. Isn't that something? There is the. There's the old shop. Look at the horse.
What are you doing here?
See the horse out in front, and that's probably his dad, I would imagine. And then just before the war, we got this picture. That would be Dennis's dad there on the right hand side. Look at that. Right before the Right before the war. Isn't that something?
You do know he's
All right, have a great day.